Let's discuss the ending of Library of Ruina. Warning, spoilers for Lobotomy Corporation and Library of Ruina. I hate drama stuff, but I think discussing this is important because I love the world Project Moon is building. So there's drama going on with fans being disappointed in the ending of Library of Ruina, and in particular, the Chinese and Korean fanbase who took to Steam to review bomb the game. Some of the issues have been addressed to an extent by the director of Project Moon, and I'll leave a link to the translated text, courtesy of Cool Kids Club, in the description. In no way do my own opinions condone or validate toxic harassment or death threats towards Project Moon or anyone with a differing opinion. My goal is to show constructive criticism to hopefully clarify what I see as misunderstandings in the community. Here are the things people are disappointed in. 1. The lack of closure for several story threads, mainly the voice people hear when they are distorting or manifesting their ego, which is speculated to be Carmen. This is the thing I'm most disappointed in, because if it actually is Carmen, then not having it revealed to our cast of Sephora where it would have the most impact is an insane missed opportunity. It's already been revealed that the next two games will have a new cast of characters, and if they discover the mystery, of course if it is Carmen, then it won't be anywhere near as impactful. Now, it is possible that the Sephora will find out in later games, but it's understandable why people are disappointed with how much it was hinted at in Library of Ruina, but with no payoff. 2. Zena's strange monologue that created a plot hole for the destruction of the original lab in the outskirts. This has been addressed and the original text is in the Project Moon director's address, but I do want to clarify what the issue was. The plot hole arises because of the timeline of events in Lobotomy Corporation. The head couldn't have known about the design to create Angela because Michelle wouldn't have known about it, and she was the one who snitched to the head. This would mean that right after Carmen's death, A would have began working on Angela's design. But when A originally tells Michelle that they are breaking the head's ideals, Carmen is still alive. Also, if the solution in the Library of Ruina is to send Angela to the outskirts, then why would they care she was created in the outskirts? In the original dialogue, Zena states that an art that brings the human mind into the physical realm is without a doubt an unpleasant idea. It was certain to be a subject of scorn, woe, who did not mind allowing it to foster. It would eventually blend into the city in a fitting way, even though it may not be the most desirable for us to see. That's how the city and its humans have always been. On the other hand, the very concept of your design displeased us to the core. This shows the head was never worried about the Seed of Light project. The head shouldn't have known about Angela's design, and I'm glad that people called this out rationally and Project Moon acknowledged the oversight. The way the original text could have worked would have required even more explaining about how the attack on the outskirts was due to various organizations and wings within the city helping with Angela's design, which brings up more issues. I think it would have been almost comical for Zena to say so much while the expulsion was counting down. 3. Resetting the world, bringing everyone back. This is a really cheap narrative trick that I dislike. It's basically like saying it was all just a dream, which boils the story down to just being a therapy session for Angela and Roland to get them over their feelings by beating them senseless a bunch of times, as fun as that was. The only reason this plot point is used is to introduce a conflict between Roland and Angela. If Angela didn't even consider bringing everyone back, then that's just another reason for Roland to justify his revenge. I don't think this was a needed story device because Roland's revenge was always about finding the true culprit responsible for killing his wife and unborn child. To Roland, it's just another way to dehumanize Angela, and I don't think that's necessary. There's two things I do like about bringing everyone back though. 1. It gave us the distorted ensemble fight, and 2. In future games, we might get to see the offices that were booked, which could have some cool nostalgia, and the idea of seeing these people distort or develop ego could be really amazing. 4. Purple Tear 4D dimension chessing everyone for money. This seems a bit strange at first glance, but it actually makes sense and shouldn't have been removed. She's essentially having a pitch meeting with Han Association and its president, where she's asking to lead an association in order to find egoists to battle the distortions. Where I think the issue people had with this is that in Purple Tear's book, she states that her reason for doing everything is mainly to meet her son. Everything else is just a stepping stone for that goal, but there isn't any mention of it at the end, and it made her seem very shallow. I like the Purple Tear scene because it set up the next game perfectly and gave a lot of information to look forward to. 5. No floor of general works realization. This has been addressed and there is an update in the works. I thought that this was a huge oversight because it missed a lot of opportunities. The Keter floor as it is now is insanely weak due to the lack of ego pages, and this makes using the floor difficult and boring, which is a shame because I would love to use the floor in order to use the Black Silence key page since it's locked to Roland. Now, I understand that the Black Silence reception was Roland's realization because in every phase of the fight, you face the worst moments Roland ever experienced in his life. There's the smog monster that despite receiving forced amnesia, he still has a vague feeling of the horrors he experienced. Then he loses Angelica, again. Phase 4 of the fight depicts the memories of the misdeeds he did in order to achieve his revenge and the resulting guilt he has. Phase 5 depicts him being overwhelmed by all his emotions of rage, sadness, and guilt that literally tears him apart. Nothing needs to be changed about the Black Silence reception, it was genuinely perfect. Now I'd like to address the reactions from everyone. The review bombing was silly, but I understand how people playing an early access game desperately want to be heard if they see issues. What these people should have done was send their constructive criticism in an email to Project Moon from their website. Something to note is that after the final update, there was a bug that softlocked people from completing the distorted ensemble reception, and I've seen some negative reviews about that, which has now been fixed. Since the director of Project Moon has addressed the issues, I've seen some of the negative reviews retracted, so I hope more will follow as things are fixed. The death threats were absolutely unnecessary and foolish, and I hope anyone who sent a death threat faces appropriate consequences. Now, the amount of death threats sent seems overblown by the people defending the original ending, because I've had a very hard time finding them despite combing the negative reviews on Steam and asking for screenshots on Twitter and Reddit. This comes across as a way to poison the well against the overwhelming constructive criticism of the ending and the resulting changes. It's also being used to justify wishing death or suffering on people who asked for change, which is equally as foolish. Remember that cooler heads will prevail. I do like seeing all the words of encouragement for Project Moon because the last thing any of us want is to see them get burned out. Everyone should remember that not all criticism is bad. Most of what I've seen from the community has actually been constructive, showing the plot holes and wanting more from the developers, which I view as a good thing. I love Project Moon and the community because we are all extremely dedicated and want to see the best product developed so that we can all be proud and increase our ever-loyal cult. Now for my overall opinion of the ending. I feel like the ending of this game was lackluster. On one hand, I'm entirely invested in the world building and I want to experience everything Project Moon has in store for us, so an ending that focuses on a new game doesn't really bother me. But on the other hand, if I view Library of Ruina as a standalone game or as just the sequel to Lobotomy Corporation, then it doesn't meet the same standard that Lobotomy Corporation set. It also gives a reason for people in the community to tell others to skip Library of Ruina like they did for Lobotomy Corporation, which is very frustrating to witness and something I want to avoid. Despite all of this, I genuinely think Library of Ruina is a unique masterpiece that everyone should play, and I love Project Moon for creating it. I would still give Library of Ruina a 9.5 out of 10 because the journey is just as, if not more so, important as the ending, and the journey was intense, dramatic, and a ton of fun. This has been Scythe7, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. See you.